Virgencita, ¿qué? Ve por la paellera. Venga, que las 2 de la tarde ya están aquí. Miren, bañador, en las chanclas. Todo despeinado porque no me dio tiempo nada ponerme las chanclas y el bañador. Voy a la playa, había subido la marea. Jesús. Jesús. Había subido la marea y encontré una paella.
The other thing I would say, as I alluded to, this is getting, thanks to retail investors, it's getting attention. And so there've been some hearings. I was really happy with what Allison Lee did, and I'm very encouraged with Gary Gensler. Here's a man; he's a tremendous integrity. Not to say that our former commissioners didn't have integrity, but Gensler gets it. He's got a mathematical mind, and he understands systems. And for all these 40 years that I've been writing about this, people have kept their head in the sand, and they've been willfully blind or willfully unwilling to dig in to what they call proxy plumbing. I always thought plumbing is a good thing. But for 40 years, plumbing for us has been a bad thing. It hasn't been so good. And it's had a lot of smelly overflows, So I do think that there's some momentum now at the SEC and from the public and even in the Congress a little bit. And so hopefully we'll see some progress made on this, which will...
I know that you were talking about the significance and that he was pushing for a lot of this reformation back in 2008 as well. So he's been kind of championing this cause for quite some time. And that encouraged me when I heard him in the committee meeting just recently. It seemed like he was nailing these on the head. And the difference between what we've had versus what we need is that action.
It's time. We need a good plumber. We never had a good plumber. And we actually did have most of our regulators, in my opinion. Don't forget, the biggest regulators, FINRA, they're the people, they're the regulated. They're made up of the very people who are being regulated and who are making millions of dollars in these deals, okay? And so you can't imagine. I tried to explain it to them. They shut their ears. They're like willfully deaf, dumb, and blind to all this. So we need somebody who says, and I think this problem has become big enough that you can't ignore it. Talk about the elephant in the room. This is it. And you can't ignore this elephant anymore. As I said, I read you what the SEC knew this was wrong in 2009 when the Inspector General told them, but they did nothing about it. And fortunately, markets got a little quiet and it went away, but then it'll come back, and this is the way it will be. So, in any event, I thought I had asked you, make sure that I get my points across, which is, how do we solve this, okay? We need to figure out how to solve this. And the first thing is there needs to be a pre-reconciliation. People should never get a proxy unless they really are holders in due course, and people who are not should not be.
It's getting to where this community is growing so big that we're just a handshake away from Gary Gensler. I mean, we have the data, we have the numbers. This is what the people are wanting, or these answers. We're putting forth the evidence that this is happening. We have the experts like you and Dr. T. They're in the field, and Wes Christian. So I'm glad to see that you're excited about it, because I really do think that this is the time for change on this.
Porque estaba la paellera agarrada, metida entre las piedras de Chipiona, del faro. Y cuando entro en el restaurante me ve el cocinero con una paellera y a veces la vende paellera.